As many as 10,000 Unionists and supporters converged on downtown Hamilton on January 29, 2011, to support locked-out steelworkers to cry their employer, US Steel, for failing to honor its commitments.
This is not Guantanamo Bay. This is Hamilton, Ontario. Get back to the bargaining table. Open the Wilcox Street gates and let our people go back to work.
We consider this a historic gathering because it makes a historic statement that Canadian workers and people from all walks of life are determined to resolve this all-sided crisis with economic crisis at the base in favor of the people instead of the rich. Let us together set an agenda to demand that governments do their duty by upholding public right, not monopoly right. In the modern world, people have rights by virtue of being human. All governments and those who employ humans must recognize those rights and guarantee them. Our rights at this time can be broadly expressed as public right, and you'll see that in our banner that's going to lead the march. They include the right to a livelihood and security in retirement, because we are the producers of all the wealth of this society. And the society depends on us for their existence. Our rights include the right to control the decisions that affect our lives, livelihood, security, and pensions. But this right to decide has been usurped by the rich and their governments. The monopolies, including the big banks and other private financial institutions and governments in their service, have their own view of rights, and more importantly, they have the political and economic power to enforce their interests and crush public right. Their view is that the people's rights, by virtue of being human, have what they call reasonable limits, and they get to decide what is reasonable. When it comes to the kinds of rights a modern society should uphold and enforce, whose rights are considered privileges, only to be granted if they serve the interests of the monopolies. This is what they call monopoly right. These monopolies are abusing and pushing the Canadian workers too far. This day of action, workers are warning the global monopolies and the politicians that do their bidding that this abuse must end. Workers are the producers of all the wealth and providers of all services. We are the source of the wealth that the rich and the monopolies so covet and enjoy. The workers warn them not to bite the hand that feeds them. We send the message that the Canadian working class should not be underestimated. Workers' social consciousness includes the conception that society and the security of society does not lie in Canada annexed to the US empire. A false security that serves monopoly right and is out of the people's control and is actually out of control completely. The workers' social consciousness believes that our security lies in the fight for the rights of all. And this is a struggle for a sovereign Canada with a diverse economy based on manufacturing. A Canada that engages in trade for mutual benefit and supports peace, not war. We wish the same for the workers and the working people from the United States, Mexico, and all workers across the world. Our duty is to break new ground, especially in the realm of holding governments accountable. Governments must do their duty. They must uphold public right, not monopoly right. We can defend our pensions, livelihood, security, and way of life if we depend on our own efforts and that of the people, and break new ground in affirming our political rights.
We demand that the Canada Investment Act be looked at and reformed in such a way that a net benefit to Canadians. Surely the goodness must mean that there's a benefit to the workers that create the wealth. It must mean a benefit in terms of the preservation of their pension plans. And above all, it must mean a commitment to the dignity and the security of retirees. That cannot be too much to ask. in this country today. So my friends, let us make sure that Hamilton is not the last that we hear about pensions, about jobs, and about manufacturing in this country. We've got to make certain that we have every single union in this country, and that every community across this country understands that Hamilton is next door to you. Hamilton is every one of our communities. There's devastation taking place, manufacturing job losses, and being replaced by precarious part-time jobs that you cannot raise a family on, you cannot put your kids through university, and you certainly cannot look forward to income security in your retirement years. That's a vision that's worth fighting for, sisters and brothers.
Everywhere on earth, corporate bastards are trying to pick our pockets. And the reality is this. We have no Canadian steel mill left. Every Canadian steel operation has been taken over during the Harper regime. In the last year, goddamn right, it's a shame. In the last year, we had 3,000 mergers and acquisitions. We've given away our seed corn, we've given away our manufacturing base, we've given away our mines. And every one of those we had what was supposed to be a net benefit for Canada. And I'll be damned if they'll take away our pensions, damned if they'll take away the right for our kids, damned if they'll take away the right damned if they'll set us back.
I can't believe that there's a government in Ottawa letting US Steel treat workers in Hamilton this way. They want to create two classes of workers in that workplace. Ones with a defined benefit pension plan and others without. Second-class citizens have no place in a first-class economy like ours. 12,000 steelworkers used to get employment in this city, supporting families and making the economy work. They used to be the engine of the economy, and Mulroney and Harper and the likes of theirs that signed free trade agreements, and US Steel and their ilk want to turn the engine of the economy into the tailpipe. This is wrong. We have to put a stop to it. Ottawa is supposed to be there to stick up for us, not sell us out.
Solidarity forever. Never give up the fight. Never bow down. Never give up. They kiss my ass.